Here's a couple of things America got right. Cars and freedom.
As societal values and the definition of success has changed, so has the American dream. These changes are best seen in the defining aspect of American culture, the automobile industry. As one of the most visible signs of success, Americans have learned to use cars to show how they define the American dream and what they value in life. With over 15 million produced in a 19-year period, the Model T automobile is the longest-running American-produced car in United States history. The first Model T was built in Detroit by the Ford Motor Company on October 1, 1908. This marked the start of an era in which Ford would dominate the car industry. By all conventional standards, the Model T was ineffective and unreliable. However, it did have one appealing aspect: it was expensive, which meant by the pure act of owning one, anyone could show what kind of material success they had achieved. This pre-Depression era was a time of remarkable prosperity, and the wealthy were willing to spend enormous amounts of money on an impractical toy such as a car. Cars were new to the time and a novelty. They served no practical use other than displaying wealth, and that was the appeal. To own a Model T meant that the owner had dispensable income, and therefore was successful. Wealth for the sake of wealth was the American dream in the early 1900s. Success was measured in monetary values and the commodities someone owned, and the items with no apparent purpose were the symbols of success because they represented wealth beyond need.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
During World War II, America became a war machine involved in the total war effort. This created enormous economic pressure, which was released explosively in the consumer society of the 1950s. The 1950 Cadillac Series 61 Coupe was the forerunner of 1950s cars. After World War II, the automobile industry returned to consumer production, and using the enormous technological leaps made during the war, they were soon mass-producing cars for the luxury-starved population. Cars were also no longer impractical. They became necessary means for transportation, but their practicality did not eliminate their materialistic appeal. The producers recognized the consumer economy and for the first time began releasing new models of the same car every year. It was designed obsolescence. This new trend forced consumers to constantly be buying newer and newer models if they wished to remain current and maintain their status. The American dream at this time was material success, however within the realms of conformity. The communist scare in politics at this time had created a desire for conformity, and the automobile industry utilized this social behavior to force consumers to constantly buy the latest models. American culture in the 1950s was driven by a desire to consume, and the American dream was to acquire whatever possible to not only display personal wealth, but to further integrate themselves into the popular society and conform to trendy principles.
I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. And I want it now.
In the 1990s, with the end of Cold War fear and tension, came a period of great global prosperity, centered on the capitalistic values of the United States. Material success was once again the most powerful driving force in the American dream, and to waste was to prove wealth. This period was best defined by the Hummer fad. The 2000 Hummer H1 was a monster of a car, based on a military vehicle designed for rugged terrain. Yet this vehicle became the iconic dream car of suburban and urban families alike. It was enormously expensive and required enormous amounts of resources to build and run. It was completely impractical to own. However, the sheer size of the vehicle created an image of monetary success. Big was beautiful in the 90s, and the Hummer H1 defined massive, and it became the representation of the desires of the American people. Now as the science behind global warming strengthens, war in the Middle East has erupted, and the United States is experiencing its greatest recession since the Great Depression. The United States has been forced to face its own mortality, and the American people no longer value wasteful spending, but rather conservation. The revolutionary car of the American dream is now the 2011 Evolve Genesis. Every aspect of the Evolve is driven towards conservation of the environment and money. Made of recycled materials and powered by powerful lithium-ion batteries, the Evolve is the symbol of modern society. This ideal combination of practical with advance is the American dream. Human nature will always be to want the best, but now the best can help others and the planet as well. The American dream has defined American culture since the birth of the nation. However, that definition is fluid and constantly changing. But at its core, the American dream is equal opportunity to achieve great personal success through hard work, while simultaneously creating a better world for future generations.